Yo, 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 no maniacs. What's happening, man? Glad to have you here with us on the show. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time. Hey, we got a pretty interesting show for you, but we're not going to do a complete hour. Got some other stuff going on. We can give you about 30 minutes, but we're going to talk and have a hell of a conversation about, and I heard this early about, there was a GQ magazine article, I do believe Caleb's dad kind of, insinuated that, if Caleb, if he doesn't get, if he's going to get drafted by a team that he really doesn't want to be drafted by, it's the possibility is he could go back into the draft next year or just sit the year out or something like that. And it made me feel some kind of way then. And then all the stories coming out of Coward and him putting what he put out there and then having to walk it back. Me thinking that conversations probably must have been had, and he felt the need from Caleb's camp to walk that back. Well, be quite frank with you, Sean, man, and welcome to the show, guys, one more time, man. Before we get all the way into it, man, you want to give some shout outs this morning?
Yeah, all people in the chat. You know what I mean? I want to say hi, everyone's in the chat. I know we got a lot of my people from Sports Zone Chicago, a lot of your people, a lot of people who are in both. Just thanks for tuning in. You know what? We're going to give you some stuff. We're going to give you some educated football talk. All right. We're not going to give you hot takes. We're not going to give you, did you hear what they said and take it and run with it? You know what I mean? We're going to give you some educated football talk, and we're going to look at it from our perspective and not from a sponsor driven perspective. And so it's going to be fun, man. I enjoy doing it like I do every day.
And also, guys, while Sean just said that, do me a favor, everybody that's within sound of my voice or in this chat live, or you catch this on replay, do us a favor. If you want to reward us for the content that we're creating, make sure you also go over to Sean's YouTube page, Sports Zone Chicago, and do me a favor. Make sure you give him a sub, because we're doing this together. It's a joint project, and I think any kind of love that you guys are showing me for us doing these shows, you should equally show it to Sean over there at Sports Zone Chicago. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for me over there. But yeah, Sean, I think the name of the thumbnail is "We don't want hostages, we need volunteers." And so the whole point of the conversation we're about to have right now is, if there's any inkling that Caleb Williams doesn't want to be here, then I think he should be out of consideration altogether, because you don't want that. You want, if the guy wants to be somewhere else, then you facilitate that happening, because as a football player, former football player, the worst thing in the world is having people in the locker room that really don't want to be there. Sean, you know that firsthand. They can become a cancer. That one skunk in the locker room run everybody out of there. You know what I mean? So what my point of view is, what we've built with Justin and developed with Justin in that locker room and the continuity that they have, I feel like I think he's undraftable if that's anywhere near the truth, man. But what about you?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be here. I think it was a faux pas on Colin Coward's part. He wanted to put it out there, I guess, kind of feel the waters, and he probably got a lot of negative press. Like, I don't think he wants to be here. You know what? And I'm listening to guys this morning, and they're talking about, well, just because Kliff Kingsbury is hired over in DC doesn't mean he's going. I'm like, why would he rescind or take his name out of the Raiders job and jump over to the Commanders job? It makes sense. It really does in my eyes. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But I don't think he wants to be here. Why? I don't know. But you know what? That's his choice. It's a free country. He could pull a Eli. He could pull a John Elway, do whatever. But you know what? If that's the case, here's what I ask. Just tell us. Just tell Ryan Poles. Like, you ain't got to be in the media. It ain't got to be honest. All this. You know what I'm saying? Just go over there and tell him. We don't have to know. But just tell him, like, you know what? I really don't want to be there because whatever. Chicago's never developed a quarterback. I don't care what you got. Cool. Now we can go about our own business. All right. Now we can go about our business and say, okay, cool. Now this doesn't have to make it. All right. We can trade. We can do whatever. Yeah. Sometimes they do that just for PR purposes. They'll say something. They'll walk in. No. He'll do anything. But really, what they're saying, they don't want it because the cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag, and and if he doesn't want to play here, cool, man. If he does want to play here, cool. All right, but here's the one thing: I'm not chasing quarterback. I'm not chasing players. I'm not chasing quarterbacks. All right, I believe we finally have a system. We finally have coaches now to develop players. All right, we've built a phenomenal infrastructure with star-laden talent. All right, with a Montez Sweat, with a Jalen Johnson. We'll sign him, of course. With Kyler Gordon, with a Jaquan Brisker. All right, with a DJMoore, with a Darnell Wright. Like, we got some stars here. Let's continue to build it. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's cool, no problem. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. And if you don't want to keep me, no problem. I got nothing against it.
Well, I think there's I watch a lot of politics because I care more about just the Chicago Bears. I care about the world. If you care about the world, man, you got to pay attention.
You mean this is your only thing in life?
Right. I do have something interesting outside of that. But, we live in very interesting times in this day and time, man, in the world. A lot of things going on in the world. So I do pay attention to politics quite a bit. And one of the things that is pretty common amongst politicians, and you got to remember this, the PR people that work for Caleb in his camp are people that probably work in political campaigns. It's a smart move when you're a player of his stature to hire people that really know how to function in that space. And so to me, I'm being honest with you, I've seen it enough times to know what it is. The minute that it got leaked out that he didn't want to come to Chicago, that was them putting their toe in the water.
Yep.
And seeing what kind of reaction, how's this going to turn out? And it was basically virtue signaling. They put their toe in the water, lost control of the narrative, and went back to the drawing board and said, hey, man, and next thing you know, you got a picture of Caleb in a shirt with a bear on it, and they're walking back those comments. See, to me, I think the first leak was the truth. That's exactly what he wanted to put out there. That's exactly what his team wanted to put out there. So to me, I was sold. The minute I heard it, it wasn't like I just wanted to believe that. I knew to believe that because I know how that world works. PR people do that stuff every day for politicians. Say leak something out there and then have to walk it back. And it's just, the facts are, man.
Damn, dog, what are you, Mr. Olivia Pope?
Huh?
I said, what do you miss? Who are you, Mr. Olivia Pope?
No, man. It's I think the arrows are pointing exactly where you think they're pointing. Them hiring Kliff Kingsbury on top of all of that stuff I just said. Mm-hmm. I think you can ignore that to your own chagrin if you want to. But to me, all the fingers are pointing that he's going to be a playmate for him in Washington. I mean, that's just all it is to it. Whether people like that or not, Sean, it's the facts. I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, and you know what? It just makes sense. All right, it just makes sense, and it does. All right, the whole purpose, like, you have to look at the everything in totality. Like I was telling you guys yesterday, you got to remember, all right, it's about money. It's about money. Okay, who makes something exciting in Washington? Not wherever they're draft picking. Not Drake May. Not Jaden Daniels. No, it's Caleb Williams. All right, they're getting the stink off of the Daniel Snyder stench. All right, they're getting that off him from him selling the team and his whole era there while he was running it. You got a new group. They want a star. They want a young star that they can build around, and people are going to come see. There's no bigger star that people are going to want to go see in that area than Caleb Williams. It literally just makes sense. And you can ignore it. You can say, oh, it's silly, it's this, it's that, it's whatever, it's conspiracy theory, it's that. Okay, cool. You can sit there and you can have your opinion. But man, don't be surprised when that happens. Don't be surprised when the trade happens. Don't be surprised, and then you're like, oh, I can't believe they did it. No, you lied because we told you. We tried telling you. We tried telling you, think checkers. No, not checkers, chess. Think chess. It's a move. It's about money, jersey sales, people in the stands. All right, as I said, God forbid, Caleb wins a game or two. What if he beats the Cowboys, the rival Cowboys at FedEx Stadium? You know what I'm saying? Watch when that thing happens. Watch what did I talk about? The Connor Bedard effect. How ticket sales, season ticket sales are going to go through the roof for this kid. It just is what it is. And you can sit there and pound the desk on the other side of the fence if you want, and that's fine. All right, that's what you believe. You're entitled to it. But this is what I believe, and I'm entitled to that as well.
Sean, I mean, I said this yesterday. This story writes itself. It just really does, man. You got to think about it in the totality of the NFL and the whole scope of the NFL, and then wanting to, build that Washington franchise has been marred for a long time, man. With Snyder being there, and them trying to put this team and this franchise back on the map is good for the whole union of teams, man. It's just really good. And just to be quite frank with you, I don't know how you could really consider one player with the possibility of what's being offered. It's going to be offered. No offers have been leaked yet, but I believe shortly. I don't know, within the next week or so, maybe sometime in the next couple 24 hours, 48 hours, might be a leak of what kind of package the Bears might be expecting, or what kind of package the Commanders may be offering, or other teams for that matter. But they're starting to, I can feel it coming. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but that's going to come out. And so people will get an idea of what might be offered to the Bears, and to know that, there is no one player in this draft. I don't give a damn how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're building your roster, and you really need pieces. You got an opportunity to get maybe a starting level quarterback that could be good later on down the line, really good later on down the line, versus I know for a fact I can build this into a serious contender with the kind of capital that I can get out of this number one pick. Now, you're going to hear people, reporters, you're going to hear everybody. And I'm going to just tell you something about the mental side of this. When you start seeing people just constantly repeat when you're on Twitter, they're drafting Caleb Williams, These are people trying to cope. They are trying to cope. They're fragile as hell, and they can't. This is how they soothe themselves to repeat the narrative. That's how they do it. And so you keep hearing that stuff. You keep hearing reporters, people that do podcasts. This is just what they want, and they can't stand the thought of a world that we don't draft Caleb Williams number one. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with themselves. To be quite frank with you, I don't know how they pivot from that. But it's going to be it. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I'm just laughing because you're right. You're right. What are you going to do? But we know what they're going to do, because you said it yesterday. Right away. They're going to attack. They're going to attack Poles.
Oh, you see that?
And you know what's awesome? Did you see the Detroit Lions GM yesterday?
No.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah. He did.
Man, he could have gone in hard. But you know what? You did see it because you posted it. That's why you leave. It's like the pros that do pro stuff. And he went after the media. He did it in a nice way, But he said, "Hey, you guys, when we drafted this person, you said you questioned it. When we drafted this person, you mocked it. When we did this, you said I didn't know what I was doing. Blah 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 blah." He goes, "And now we're here. All right, now we got to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 30 freaking years. 30 years." In other words, shut the hell up and let me do what I got to do. Because you're not a professional in this realm. You are an outsider. You are a reporter. I know what I'm doing. Basically, he went off on it. I loved it. I loved it. And I don't think Ryan Poles is that type of guy, but I wish he was. To go after people like Dan Weeder and some of the other people in Cap and all those guys are like, look, you mind your business. Just write about it. Don't tell me this pick is good or bad. I know what I'm doing, and you've seen it, and the proof is in the pudding. But I don't think Ryan Poles is built like that.
Hey, we're gonna put a tweet up, and we're gonna respond to that. If you can put Rusty's tweet back up, Chris, we'll respond to that in 1 second. But I was watching Cap yesterday, man. Somebody pointed it out while we was doing the show, and or later on last night when we were doing the evening show. One or the other, I can't remember when, but man, I watched that video and I was dying, man. I mean, Cap is a pissed off Badger. They can't when they go out there. I think I'm telling you. I don't know if you believe this, Sean, but I believe that these guys have gotten so used to people in the media of being able to control the narrative and make a franchise do what they want them to do. And I think they sense that they won't be able to do that now. And I think that's the energy Cap was giving. It's like, oh my God, I wish these people would just stop. You know,
but also, Nomad. It's not just that. It's got you have other. It's now they have competition. There's a lot of other platforms because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, all right, there weren't as many podcasts, all right, and you're talking 10 years ago, there weren't podcasts, so you didn't have people contradicting Cap. You didn't have people bringing stuff up what you said 3 months ago and how you walked it back. They didn't have people. People didn't keep receipts and didn't have a platform to play those receipts. And now what people are thinking, they're not the authority. Not that they were the authority ever. They just had a platform with ESPN, NBC Sports Chicago, Comcast Sportsnet before that. Fox Sports 1. When you spoke, it was kind of like law because you're the one on TV. No, you couldn't hear anybody else. No one else had a voice. Now there's voices. Now there's educated voices. Now there's intelligent voices that contradict what these blowhards say. And that's what they have educated. Boy, not just, it's easy when you got a meathead fan like, oh, this and this. It's easy to combat that. You're fine. But when you have educated voices that can debate you and go back and refute everything you say and prove that what you say really doesn't make a lot of sense, yeah, then all of a sudden you start getting a little crazy. And that's what's happening. You get platforms like people like us who actually played the game, people like us who've actually coached the game, and a whole bunch of other podcasts of people who've done that, and they don't like it. They don't like it at all.
So to get back to that, he wasn't a question, but Rusty said that, word is that Magic Johnson got involved in the Cliff Kingsbury.
Damn well he did.
And so when I remember talking about this in one of the shows, this might have been 2-3 weeks ago, and I said that them bringing on Magic Johnson as a he's not just going to be a figurehead. Magic Johnson is there to take the big swing. That's what he does, man. He's a marketer. He's a brander. He makes big, huge moves to get the people interested, man. And somebody knew, and probably Magic, he knew what's our best chance to get this done and get this trade with the Chicago Bears. If it's hiring Cliff Kingsbury, then that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to hire Cliff Kingsbury, and we're going to call those people and ask them what they want. And we're going to make this move. If there's any chance to do it, this is the best chance to do it. We're going to get Kingsbury off that plane and have him turn that thing around and get him back over here, because he was pretty close to signing that thing for Vegas. And so, yes, that doesn't surprise me, Rusty. I believe that 100%. Somebody probably had to get involved to make sure they gave themselves the best chance to get Caleb Williams. And it's just a smart move, in my opinion. But, yeah, I believe that 100%.
Yeah, and was it Keith? Keith made a good point. If Caleb was a priority for the Bears, they would have hired him.
Exactly.
Right? And here's why. You want to go with a guy that he's comfortable with. You want to go with a guy he has history with. You want to go with a guy that's going to make the transition from college, from SC to Chicago smooth. All right. And what better way where you don't have to learn a new offense like everyone else has to learn, but as a quarterback, you know it. All right. So you have an extra coach on the field. Say, hey, listen, no, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You know what I mean? It's easier. See, so here's the thing that people don't understand. When you learn a new offense, when you learn a new defense, it's not just the quarterback that has to learn it. It's not the quarterback that has to learn it. It's the offensive lineman. It's the running back. It's the wideouts. It's the tight ends. And their learning curve might be different. You know what I mean? But if you got a quarterback who comes in who already knows the system, he can help advance it, because guess what? In the preseason meet, first of all, you get an extra week because it's a new coordinator. But when you're working out in the summer, before you guys have, you're going to meet with these guys. You're going to be practicing like Justin does. You're going to be practicing with these wide receivers. And here's how I want these routes run. So you're going to get the coaching from your quarterback who's actually throwing you the ball. So it makes a lot of sense. It really does. It really makes a lot of sense. And when it happens, it's good. I don't know how the population might decrease a lot because they don't know what they're going to do. Like, mama, they didn't draft Caleb. They traded the pick. Like we tried telling you.
Sorry. All you got to do is watch the signs. Here are the signs right here. So everybody that's listening to us right now doesn't just assume that we're just putting this content out here and making up stuff because this is what we want to believe. This is just me reacting to the signs. First sign was Caleb's dad and what he said in the GQ article. Second thing was Cowherd putting out what he put out about that their wishes, pretty much. Them walking it back was the next thing. Those are the three things that happened. And then the fourth thing, there's 5 things that happened. The fourth thing that happened was Ryan Poles going out to LA to interview Kliff Kingsbury and not offering him the job. The last thing that happened was Kliff Kingsbury making the move to go sign for the team that's the number 2 pick in the draft. If you want to ignore that, do that at your own peril. But if you want to be just use your good sense and good judgment to kind of put the pieces together and kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, if that doesn't make sense to you, you just one of those, you like to want to be hold your ears and cover your eyes. You don't want to see or hear any of it because it doesn't fit what you feel like listening to, or it doesn't sit well with you. So you can do that if you choose, but you be ignoring everything that's right in front of your damn face.
Yeah, look at Yada. No. We're not saying that we're going to cower down to people like Magic Johnson. What we're saying is this is what I tried to explain yesterday. You got to understand, it's in the best interest. You have to stop thinking the best interest of your team. Okay, yes, I'm a Bears fan. All right, I'll be a Bears fan till I die. But you have to look at it from 10,000 feet. They look at it, what's the best for the league? And the best for the league is if Caleb goes home. And I'm not saying that people here aren't going to buy his jersey. I'm not saying people here aren't going to, there's going to be season tickets already sold out, PSLs. But what I'm saying is it makes sense. It makes sense. It's not like saying, well, we're taking the number 1 pick and we're swapping picks and that's it. No, that's bullying. You know what's not happening? Or you know what is happening? We're getting a couple of draft picks, 2, maybe 3 first-round picks and a second and a player. That's not kowtowing. That's not being cowardice to somebody else. Dude, think about what we got last year. We got 3 starters. We got DJMoore, an all-pro who should be an all-pro. Should have made the Pro Bowl as well. But nonetheless, I digress. But he's in that category. You got a starter at right tackle. You got a starter at cornerback. Both guys all rookie, 1 first team, 1 second team. Then you got more picks. All right? When it's all said and done, like I said yesterday, man, we're going to get about between 8 and 11 players from that 1 pick. Come on, man. One person, if one person is not good enough in my eyes to get a haul of 6 people, 5 people this year. Come on, man. It's number, and it's not. And here's the thing: we're not getting 6th and 7th rounders. Let's not forget. These are 1st and 2nd round picks, Papa. You're getting 1st and 2nd round picks plus a player, plus a proven player who's already. You don't have to worry. Is he a stud? Is he a bust? Is he this? The production's there. And here's the thing: Ryan Poles is hit on his picks. He's hit on his picks on all. The only one that right now, because once you get to the 4th round, then it's kind of a crapshoot. The only one who's in question right now is Velus Jones Jr., who's a 3rd round pick. Other than that, everyone else he's picked in the 1st and 2nd and 3rd rounds have hit.
Who I cannot wait for Waldron to get their hands on him and figure out what Velus' strengths is.
Bingo.
And use him in the correct way so that, people won't be so disenchanted with that pick. I think there was an idea for Velus when they got him. They didn't draft him to be a pure receiver. They drafted him to weaponize him. And they were Getsy was never able to figure out a scheme to do that, which is, I think, you might got to be pretty blind not to see that Caleb Williams, you just get the ball in his hand and block it up and let him do his thing. But before I go any further, let me give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat that follows me on Twitter at Nomad Networking. Probably knows who AJ Davis is. She's very popular out there on Twitter. She's a big time Bears fan, and she sent me a DM today and let me know that her dad watches our show. Her dad, Charles, watched us yesterday, the Caleb Who show yesterday, Sean. So I just wanted to give a shout out to AJ's pops, Charles, for checking in with us, man. And before we get out of here, guys, make sure anybody in this chat, anybody within the sound of my voice, do us that favor and reward us for doing this daytime content for you guys. hit that like and subscribe for us, man. You guys have been wonderful, and it's just looking good. But Sean, hey man, this whole thing. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say before you get out, we need to do a station ID.
We're gonna hold on. I got one more topic, man. But
just one.
I just lost my
really
messing around with Chris, man.
That's because you old.
Man, you old.
We're all old. Let's not. Hey, why do you think I shave, man? I don't need to see all this. There's a lot of salt, not enough pepper in this beard, baby. But one of the people, so Adrian, you're saying they really don't understand the infatuation with Fields. He showed he can't throw with anticipation. He's never thrown for 4,000 yards and never will. Okay, well let's look at that. Okay, first of all, he can throw with anticipation. He has. You have to watch film. So Nomad. Sometimes one of these times we'll have to get some clips and show people some anticipatory throws, the ones that he can't throw. Okay, because again, what happens is you follow other people or you listen to other people who have an agenda or don't know football, and they'll say things and you just repeat what they say because it's what everyone's. Because I've watched, I've watched. I'm at the games. I'm in the press box. I'm watching these things. Okay, and you're saying he's never thrown for 4,000 yards. Yeah, you're right. He was running for his life in year one. He was running for his life in year two. This year he had. What did he have? Whatever he had, 20 something. All right, he missed 4 games. Okay. Here's my question. So you can forecast, and he never will. That's your forecasting. He never will throw for 4,000 yards. So you're projecting what he will never do in his career. You're also projecting. You're going to project what Caleb will do in his. So why is it easier? Why is it okay to project what Caleb will do, and not what Justin will do? If you want to project. If you're saying, well, this guy is going to do this, well, he hasn't done it yet. Guess what? Caleb Williams hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards in the NFL either. Drake May hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards in the NFL either. Jaden Daniels hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards in the NFL either. But you're willing to project what they're going to do, but you're not willing to project what Justin Fields is going to do with a competent offensive coordinator now, one he hasn't had in his first 3 years. I rest my case.
Well, this is totally off subject because people are saying stuff to me, man, on Twitter, and sometimes that stuff gets in my mind. But this is I'm gonna give you a good illustration, people. I've already had this conversation with our guys and that joined the show. All you have to do was go to some of these different podcasts, and the suspects,
culprits.
Yeah, and just look at the chat. And you wonder why they're driving these narratives. These people, you don't find them in our chat. You might get 1 or 2 people that come in here and not very supportive of Justin and not being a person that wants to stand behind him. But then you go to these other shows that's what they want to talk about. They want to drive that narrative. We need to get rid of Justin. We need to get rid of Caleb. And so when you see podcasters just driving that narrative all the time, it's part of what they want to happen. But part of them they are being straight scavengers. They're looking at their chat and the energy in their chat, and they're just feeding them raw meat. That's exactly what they want. They know their audience. Their audience comes over there to be negative. They want to be negative. And so negative is what sells over there. They got sponsors that look at this stuff, and you gotta kind of pay attention to it. If this is what your support base is talking about or wants to talk about, you got to feed them. You got to feed them. That's not a mistake. And so you see the difference in the chat when you go there and you come over here. There's a reason for that. It's like vultures, man. They just it's really
good marketing. It's good. It's knowing what your constituents want and giving it to them. Is really all it is. Really all it is. What do these people want? What are they salivating for? Oh, this is what they want. They want to go down this road. They'll go down that road, and then people are like, oh, this is what they said. Their word is law. It's not. It's not.
Man.
And don't worry. People talk about, especially with Justin, like it's the thing that I've seen, and you may see. I don't know. Okay, again, I've seen him do everything. There's literally nothing that he can't do. It's the consistency is the issue. Okay. And that's where the coaching comes in. Okay. There hasn't been any type of throw that you haven't seen. Maybe an underhand throw, and he's even done that going down sometimes. Well, not underhand, he just flicked it. All right, he can do everything. It's the consistency, it's the coaching that matters. All right, it's the coaching that takes him from this level to an elevated level. And again, if you don't understand why CJ Stroud did so well, why Jared Goff is doing so well, okay, then you don't understand football. You have guys behind these guys who develop quarterbacks. Who develop quarterbacks and do it well. And I'm not taking anything away from CJ Stroud because CJ Stroud had a phenomenal year. He had a great coach. All right, we're going to watch Joe Burrow. How's Joe Burrow going to do? Because now that his coach is gone. Okay, look at Jared Goff's going to have another good year. Why? Because his coach, Bobby Slowick, is staying. It's Ben Johnson. Slowick's in Houston. Ben Johnson is staying. Okay, so now they have another year of continuity up there in Detroit, which can be a problem. But you have to understand this coaching. I can't make it any more clear how important coaching is. I just can't make it clearer.
And before we play the commercial, Chris, I just got this one last thing to say about the subject, and that is, if they wanted Caleb Williams, and if the intent was to draft Caleb Williams, you can best believe Kliff Kingsbury would be the Bears' offensive coordinator. You can best believe they'd assign him, inked him, and he'd be here. They have the upper hand. If their intention was to draft that kid and ignore all the bounty they might get, Kliff Kingsbury would be the Bears' offensive coordinator right now, not Shane Waldron. That I can guarantee you. And so they had the opportunity to do it. They passed on it, and I think it's a smart move. Again, we don't know for sure what the Bears are going to do. But if you want to pay attention to the writing on the wall and see where the fingers are pointing, that's the direction it's going. They're going to trade that pick to Washington and get a bounty. That whether you like to hear that or not, just read the tea leaves, man. So, Chris, if you want to play that commercial, it would be a great time to do it.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
One more time, guys, for all the people that are just jumping in, man. If you didn't hear me earlier, man, please, you guys that support us so hard, man, and show us so much love. I need that same energy at Sports Zone Chicago and support Sean and his network over there, man. Please go to Sports Zone Chicago and make sure you subscribe to his channel. It'd be wonderful. I thank you ahead of time for doing it. But you got any more shout outs before you get out of here, Sean?
Just my guys in the chat. Junior, Armando Lara Jr. was one of my guards, man. He was
Junior.
Another nasty song going. Barlissimo checking in from across the pond. And everybody else in here checking in, man. Again, you don't have to agree with us. That's cool. That's the wonderful thing about this country. All right, we all have our own opinion. I just look at things from a different perspective. I definitely look at other people's perspectives. Even though I may be staunch and firm on mine, it doesn't mean that I don't look at and put myself in your shoes. Like I said, I get all the Caleb love. I get the Caleb anticipation. I get it. Okay. I just don't agree with it. That's all. And I've thought about it. It's not like I said, oh, I believe this that I'm going to happen. No, be open-minded. All right. And this is fun. We're all grown men here, grown men and women. We can debate. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. And that's what makes this great, is that you have your opinion, we have ours, okay? And you present it, no name calling, no childish antics. It was good, man. I love it. I love talking. I love debating, and I love talking sports. I've been doing it since I was 5, so I first started playing t-ball. All right, and I'm probably not going to stop, not at this stage of the game. So everyone who comes in, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the comments. Whether you agree with me and no matter not, I don't care. I just care that you're a good fan. You come in, you liven this chat room up. You liven it up with your difference, and that's the cool part about it. It keeps it live. So thank you, everyone, and make sure you do follow Sports Zone Chicago. I'm on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Okay, you can follow us, and I would greatly appreciate it. Follow me at the Sean Sierra on all platforms as well.
Amen to that, man. And this is the last thing I'll say to this. I promise you, you can believe me when I tell you, man, I've got substance to me. If the Bears had have signed Kliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator of the Bears, believe me when I tell you, we wouldn't have this narrative being talked about right now, because I'd be pretty sure that they were moving on from Justin. Just telling you guys right now, so that any of you guys that don't really like me or Sean or don't agree with what we're saying, but you're here anyway having the conversation, I just want you to know that for certain. If things had gone the other way and Kliff Kingsbury would have signed here in Chicago, I promise you the narrative would have been different. But he did not. And he signed with Washington, and we're just following the breadcrumbs. It's all we're doing, so don't be upset with us. But like Sean said, man, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, man. You almost got us at 1,000. Even if you don't like us, man, I'd do that favor for you if I didn't like you. If I saw you needed help and I didn't like you, I'm going to help the person that needs help. That's just in my nature. And so I just wanted to say that to everybody, man, before we get out of here, and say thank you guys for coming one more time, man. But before we go, I always got to leave you with this: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Muck, you got something, baby.